If y'all don't know me, which y'all probably don't because this is one of my first real videos, my name is Amaya Butler and I suffer from severe health anxiety. They also do have another name for this diagnosis, and I don't know how to pronounce it, y'all. So, yeah, hypochondria. Well, I'm gonna have the word put right here. Okay, so in this video today, I'm going to be telling people who just like me how to. Sorry about my nose. I was braiding hair and I took them off. I'm gonna tell people how to cope with this cope with this diagnosis, and will it get better? All that. Just answer everybody questions. So I'm gonna tell my story of how I first realized that I had bad anxiety. So we're gonna go back to 2017. I've always been the person who always felt like something was wrong, but I wasn't really feeling like nothing was wrong before this time. But I was just like, yeah, I'm healthy. I'm da 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 da. I think it was June of 2017. I had gotten a traumatic car accident. Before that, but before the car accident, I couldn't breathe and stuff, and I was feeling like I needed to go to the hospital. So I went to the doctor and went to the hospital, and they said that I looked perfectly fine. And it was crazy because a day later I had gotten in a car accident and my chest was hurting and all of that. That whole entire year, I felt like I couldn't breathe. I couldn't walk up the stairs without losing my breath. And I came upon this article, how this 15-year-old girl at the time, she was a healthy cheerleader, all of that. And till this day, the story still sit with me in my heart. She was a healthy cheerleader, all of that. She was the same age I was, but she kept complaining that she couldn't breathe, just like me. Her chest was hurting, just like me. She went to the doctor. The doctor was like, "You're too young. Everything's gonna be okay." All of that. Make a long story short, this poor young girl ends up dying because she had a blood clot in her lung, and they refused to do an EKG on her because they said that she was too young. First of all, guys, you're never too young to get anything. Don't let anybody say that you are too young, because you're never too young to get anything. It may be a low risk, but you're never too young. So on top of that, I'm like, okay, I'm having the same symptoms. Mind you, I went to the doctor at a hospital because my heart rate was like super, super high. They did an EKG on me and it was like everything's perfectly normal. Unlike her, I had an EKG, but I was still complaining. I had sharp pains in my chest, all of that. So to fast forward there, I dealt with this for like almost a year. I'm thinking I'm going to die. So I finally had a distraction. When I had a distraction, I kind of got back to myself, even though I'm still feeling a little funny. Got back to myself. A year passed. I'm doing great. Other that, this year it came back. Like, don't ever say that you can really cure anxiety. Everybody will always have a little bit of anxiety, and like right now I'm having really bad anxiety. I've been having frequent urination, and I'm starting to think it's just me, but at the same time I don't know. And it's bad for me because Google will make everything worse. And if you're a person who's dealing with stuff like me, you're not alone. You're really not alone. There's a lot of us out here who's suffering from this. Some people will never understand us, you know. So anyways, okay, so I am sexually active, and I was messing with somebody who wasn't really up to par, and I started feeling funny. I started catching urinary tract infections, all of that. And went to the doctor. I end up going to the doctor to actually get tested, and everything came out negative. But on top of that, I've always had bad anxiety, and even though I got tested, I started having some symptoms. I started looking up symptoms. I've been stopped messing with this person, by the way. I started having symptoms. That I'm looking stuff up. Guys, please do not look nothing up because it just makes it worse. I'm not going to say I haven't looked anything up because today I have looked stuff up, but that just makes everything worse. And, you know, I just went to the beach last week. I was doing good. Now, for the past 2 days, I've been really having to go use the bathroom. And sometimes, you guys, most of the time, half of your symptoms are not dealing with the health issues. Half of the symptoms is because you think of it. And it's a lot of people who don't go through anything like us wouldn't understand why we feel the way we do. A lot of people say, nothing's wrong with you, da, da, da. But at the same time, when you have that in your mindset, when you deal with it, there's no way you can really relieve it, like, unless you really go to the doctor. A lot of times we go to the doctor 10, 15 times a week because we really think that we have something. And everybody with this disorder, everybody with this disorder, it can make you go into a depression stage because we're constantly feeling like we're gonna die. We constantly feel like we have something. We constantly feel like that something is wrong with us. I done thought I was gonna have a heart attack. Thought I was gonna have a stroke. I had diabetes. Right now, I'm starting to think I got diabetes. You see what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't know until you actually go through a stage like us. And it's bad when this anxiety, everybody has a lot of anxiety. There's different types of anxiety, but this certain anxiety I feel like is the worst anxiety, because this one will make you go crazy. You also have social anxiety, all of that, but a health anxiety and Google is the devil. I'm just gonna say that right now. Google is the devil. From a simple headache, like, a lot of people was like, well, how does this anxiety work around? We who has had this diagnosis, we can have a simple headache and then change that one simple headache into a brain aneurysm. And then we end up in the hospital because our body is reacting. Our body doesn't know how to react to our thoughts. So we start getting migraines. You probably could never have a migraine before in your life, or never dealt with a migraine before in your life. And you have a migraine, so now your head is banging, and stress can do so much to your body, and you won't even, stress is strong. Like, you don't know how stress can affect your body. I went to the doctor. They said I have high blood pressure. I'm tripping out because I'm like, I'm too young to have high blood pressure. Stress can make you have a lot of things. So I just want everybody who's dealing with things like me to say that you're not alone. Like, it's hard. If you're feeling crazy on your crazy days, I'm in a support group on Facebook. I'm in a anxiety support group, and there's a lot of people like us. We're not alone. Don't let nobody ever tell you that you're alone, because you're not alone. We're fighting this together. We're going to be okay. It's not us. Anxiety is dangerous, man. And people who's on pills and anxiety pills and stuff, stay away. Do it the natural way, even though it's hard. I'm telling you, anxiety pills make antidepressant. It makes stuff go even worse. You really get more worse. And we have to learn how to cope by ourselves, you know, to get our mind mentally right. We can't have pills to do it for us. You know, you're going to be okay. You're not alone. If you feel alone, you're not alone. We got this. We're in this together. We're going to fight till the end. And yeah, thank you.